Hello everybody, welcome to sunset in Ki-West. It's almost sunset time. Hope everybody is staying safe and doing good. We are at Simonton Beach. So don't be fooled, the beach is officially closed. There are barricades there. However, the access via the bar is open. So we kind of snuck in here. So the dogs are having fun over here. And of course we are at Loggerheads. Let me see if I have connection. If I move over here, let me know if it stalls or if we start buffering here. So welcome back, Kelly, Racer, Susan, Dave, John, Richard. Hey, Donna. Hey, Stephen, John and Bill. Big Bear, End of Society. Welcome to Simonton Beach. So again, of course, the beach officially is closed. Apparently it has been open during the day, at least a couple of days now. It's just that it keeps changing. Apparently yesterday Smothers Beach was open and then the day before it was closed, so they're kind of doing a soft opening here and there. Of course, it's much easier at Smothers Beach, which is actually much bigger. This is actually quite a small beach, so obviously the small beaches are much more difficult to handle when there are more people. So again, the beaches here in Ki-West are officially still closed. We had a windy day today here in Ki-West, although it still is felt like 92 now, but it does feel a little bit cooler than it normally would at that temperature. Are they doing it right? Yep, that dog definitely is still having fun, rolling in the seaweed. So let's see where else we can be headed to. As you know, for the last two sunset streams, we were lucky enough to be able to access the parking lot right next to Mallory Square. So we actually had a pretty good view of the sunset, especially considering that we are normally standing on the wall just on the other side in the same spot anyways when we do our sunset live streams from Mallory Square because there is a little wall. So it allows me to be higher up, so we'll do that. And of course, everybody, welcome and happy Conch Republic Independence Day. So I'm sure you're all familiar with the story and the history of the Conch Republic. And so today is the 38th anniversary of the Conch Republic. So April 23rd, 1982. So unfortunately the festivities, of course, aren't really happening. We did have some colleagues live stream this morning with the, well, yes, of course, the Conch Republic flag, the Conch Republic anthem. So those guys were on Mallory Square, so there should be a brand new Conch Republic flag. Hopefully we can see it from our spot. And I have seen some ladies doing their evening bike ride dressed up. And they had a Conch Republic flag and wearing tutus and pretty much Ki-West style. Let me take you over to the marina real quick. So as you could see here at Simonton Beach, we do have some police patrolling, just making sure people aren't gathering on the beach. So this is the side of the island at this time of the year where you can see the sunset. So of course they try to avoid people getting together in groups. But they weren't really bothering anyone here. Even the family that came with their pickup truck sitting in the back, having a little drink and watching the sunset. Now it is kind of difficult to watch the sunset on the side of the island right now because it's setting behind Sunset Key. You will see that in a minute if you haven't been with us at our last sunset stream. You kind of cannot see the moment where the sun hits the water because there is another island in the way. I see lots of you guys are planning your next trips to Ki-West. So it does look like, for now at least, we have somewhat flattened the curve, so we haven't had any new cases in Ki-West for the last 3 days, I think. Unfortunately, just before we had like 4 in one day, which maybe doesn't sound like much, but you know, for a small island it somewhat is. Ooh, looks like he caught something. So of course less boat traffic also means more fish, even here in the marina. So it looks like those guys were catching. We're lucky here. Pretty lucky catching some stuff. Of course the tarpons here are, the fisher boats still go out during the day, so the tarpons here still get their food. So do the pelicans. Of course really quiet over here. As I said, sunset time is bike time. All the locals are out and about. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you for supporting our channel.
Maybe recognize the campus.
It's funny, I think our colleagues from Fisher Monster were just live too. I think they are only on Facebook though. Here down in the harbor. Just clocking away. Angel, yes, I think they still do have the turtle race at Turtle Crawl, just obviously not right now. I think I've seen one a couple of months ago. I was trying to check out if I could, live stream from there. But it was pretty busy, so it was a bit difficult to do so. Yes, Stephen, you do have a point. It says you no bike riding on the dock. But hey, there is nobody on the dock, so right now a lot of the rules don't apply. So we are here on the eastern part of Greene Street, headed towards Duval. And no, it did not rain. We haven't had any rain in a long time. But due to the wind, the waves are a little higher than usual, so that they come in through the drains during high tide. So this is seawater. And on today's menu for our Mallory Square chickens, I got them some rice, some cooked rice. This is your first time joining us. Currently, obviously, Mallory Square and the Sunset Celebration is closed. We don't have any tourists on the island. So the chickens on the side of the island get a little hungry because they used to, live on popcorn and tortilla chips from the tourists. And there isn't a lot of greenery or soil for them to dig for some worms on this side of the island. So I am obviously fully aware you're not supposed to feed the wildlife, but I think in these times we can make an exception. So we have our little chicken alley where we're gonna be headed in a minute. So Angel, Garber's Grill is now on Caroline Street, across from the Panem building, where the Panem offices used to be. So at the very end of Caroline, almost on the corner of Whitehead. So Garbo's Grill is still there, so they just moved their food truck. So welcome to everybody who just joined us. We are a local Key West live stream channel here. Pretty much everything we do is live streamed. So tonight we're having a little sunset walk, and here is your update from the corner of Greene Street and Duval Street. So the main road work has been done. So they started off with fixing 3 of those 4 areas here in the crossroads. There is still some work to be done on the actual road, and it looks like they are fixing some parts of the actual sidewalk now as well. So here in front of Rick's. So of course I figured this is still subject to revision here. Of course Sloppy Joe's is closed. In case you weren't aware, the bars here close on St. Patrick's Day, so March 17th. And ever since, it has been pretty quiet. Lots of the places have been renovating and fixing things, whether that is businesses or private people. So Sloppy Joe's has been tented against termites, and they probably did some repair inside too. Captain Tony's. So Captain Tony's has a, well, the bar has been redone, there has been some painting done, some dusting. And if you were with us on Monday, so we do these Key West walks, and we also do music live streams. So for the moment, we're mainly doing them from the porch, but we did a little exception last Monday, and we snuck into Captain Tony's. So they let us use their music area, so Gabe could play inside of Captain Tony's. So if you miss the inside of a Key West bar, just go and check out the stream from Monday. That was at Captain Tony's. And let's head over to see how the sunset is doing. So it is pretty cloudy tonight, so let's hope we can see. Well, Peter, I think they kind of just restored mainly the bar stools that were in there. They might have added 1 or 2. They had some new ones in there that didn't have anything on there just yet. So they were like clear wood. So they probably still need to stain them and put a name on there, but they definitely touched up some of them. The old tradition. And here we go. This is the main entrance to Mallory Square. So let's go and check out how the light is doing. So the official sunset time today is 7:53, so we still have almost 20 minutes. So it is really nice to see that. We don't have the local families biking around this area during sunset time, because I mean it is obviously way too busy. But right now you can do this. So it looks like we have some clouds, so normally we should be able to still see the sun. The clouds are hiding it a little bit. Let's see how this goes. Let's walk through Chicken Alley. And these guys are waiting for food. So yes, unfortunately, the sun is behind the clouds. Let's see if we have some development here. We have another 15 minutes somewhat. And look at those guys sitting in the tree waiting. So I think it's time to give them some food. Do you think? And I thought I might try to actually put you guys down here on the floor, because I need both hands. One of them that keeps trying to eat the external mic. No. There's a little one. Do I have a chicken feather on my mic? Alright. So again, these guys don't have much soil to go and feed themselves, and they are kind of used to being fed by the tourists or pick up some popcorn. So these guys are pretty hungry, but a lot of people feed them. They do have some pretty colors. So I know it looks like the sun has already set, but it hasn't. The thing is, it does actually set behind Sunset Key, but we normally should still be able to see it this time. But too many clouds. Let's go to our usual spot over here. So this is the Mallory Square parking lot, which is still accessible. Of course, Mallory Square itself is closed off. There is the new Conch Republic flag for today's Conch Republic Independence Day. Everybody is social distancing. So yes, the sunset would be basically right there. Too many clouds, quite windy today. So unfortunately we don't have a very good view of the sunset. But guys, this is what Mallory Square looks like when there is nobody. And of course, we are here in the parking lot. And we are normally behind this little wall, filming from the other side anyways, because it allows us to get up a little bit higher. So Monroe is asking how the chickens actually ended up on the island. But let me get up here. Well, two different ways. So one of them is some specific kinds of chickens were brought in by the Cubans. You know, Ki-West has been Cuban for a very strong Cuban influence. We're only 90 miles away from Cuba. So the Cubans did bring a lot of the roosters for cockfights. And some of the chickens, if you look really closely, they look a little bit different. They have really long legs and pretty huge claws, actually. So they are descendants of of those roosters, the Cuban roosters. And then another batch of chickens were brought in for actually natural bug control, because they love to eat bugs. We sure have a lot of bugs. So that's where those chickens basically come from. And then today's chickens are mainly descendants of the bug-eating one, but from time to time you can see one that you can see has a slightly different DNA. So that is the story of the chickens. Of course, they are protected, roaming free on the island. Some very confused ones, because we all know that chickens are supposed to, well, roosters are supposed to crow when the sun rises. Not the Ki-West chickens. So we have some that start at 11:30 at night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Anytime before sunset seems to be fine with them. So it's kind of interesting. There goes the ferry over to Sunset Key. So those are all private houses. You do have one restaurant over there called Latitude. So when you have a reservation at the restaurant, you get a free ferry ride over. Of course, not right now because the restaurants are closed. I doubt that Latitude does take away. So I think Mary or somebody else is asking when we will open again, and we don't know. We have no idea. So I mean, you know, Florida has quite a lot of cases. One of the hotspots is up just on the mainland in Miami. So we still have the roadblock in place. So anybody who comes to the Keys has a reason to be here, basically live here or work here. And as in terms of reopening, I mean, all we know is that it takes 2 weeks for somebody to. It can take up to 2 weeks before somebody shows symptoms. So logically speaking, you know, if we would have 2 weeks without new cases, that means that the virus would be gone from the island. Given that we're an island, so we're kind of a small group, and as long as we can control who comes on the island. But the thing is, I mean, we haven't had 2 weeks without any cases. Ki-West has had 3 days without any new cases now. But then the day before we had 4. And again, I'm just talking for Ki-West. That's like 25,000 people in a small confined space where things can spread. Those 4 cases will all be able to be tracked back to another person who was a confirmed case. So it shows how, you know, how much it can be spread within a group of people. So before we haven't had 2 weeks of no new cases, I would imagine that it isn't very safe to open up Ki-West for people coming in from elsewhere, because again, we are just a small bunch of people living here, and from what we have, the data shows that it does spread pretty quickly within a group. So we are waiting to hear more. Again, 3 days without new cases. Of course, there are cases up in the upper Keys as well. So we're kind of being given the data of Monroe County, and I think Monroe County does pretty well compared to the rest of Florida. Of course, Miami isn't doing too good, and neither are some of the other areas. Okay guys, one last view of Mallory Square. I think it is safe to say that we're not gonna see the sunset tonight. The actual sun hitting the horizon. Looking at our beautiful Conch Republic flag over there. What I can tell you is, you know, Ki-West, we have a very small medical infrastructure, so we are even more worried about, you know, other places might be able to accommodate more patients. We don't. The local hospital doesn't have a lot of beds. Miami is far and busy with their own. So that is another reason why we have to be really careful here. I mean, we kind of know how it goes with the cruise ships that come in. They permanently bring in like different things. We just call it the Ki-West crud because you basically catch something. Well, the less fortunate ones catch something pretty often. I guess it depends on your immune system. So we are aware how much we are influenced by people coming in from the outside. Of course, when we have cruise ships, we have thousands of people. Sometimes we have 3 cruise ships at a time. So we locals call it the Ki-West crud if you caught something from a tourist. And it is an actual thing. So all this contributes to obviously being very careful with what is going on now. There they are, well-fed chickens sitting up there in their tree. Chicken alley. So guys, we are going to have another porch session tomorrow. So normally we don't do porch sessions on Friday, but since we won't be able to do one on Saturday, apparently, that's what I have been told, we are going to have a porch session tomorrow from 5 till 7 Ki-West time. So come on over, join us for some live music. You can make song requests. That's going to be tomorrow, 5 till 7. And I wanted to thank you guys again so much for supporting our channel. Obviously these aren't easy times, and I know it's the same for a lot of people, so we really appreciate your help. And today I walked over to Fritas and I ordered a you know, they are making masks and they have all these kinds of really cool fabric, and they actually have developed a mask with a plug so that you can actually use a straw, because you're in Ki-West, you know, it's really important to hydrate. So those masks can be used with a straw. At least that's what the idea was. So I went and I ordered one. I should be getting it tomorrow, so I might have it for tomorrow's stream. I'm gonna show you. I picked a little chicken pattern for the fabric. So supporting the local Ki-West businesses. And it just sounded like such a cool idea. So let's see how it goes. I'll do a product review tomorrow. So again, tomorrow 5 till 7, a little porch session with live music. And if you haven't yet, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and especially hit that notification button, because we don't always know upfront when we're going to be live. We never know when we have another update. So again, right now all the beaches, for example, are closed, although there is some kind of soft opening happening. So I think they're kind of trying to figure out how to manage the crowds and which areas to open. So some of the beaches are open during the day, at least some parts of them. So we'll update you on how that goes. And I'll just wanted to check out over here. So this is the old customs house. And so behind it is the Margaritaville Resort. This is also part of the Margaritaville Resort. So they have a pretty big waterfront, and it was the last one to close because I guess it's considered private property. And I just wanted to see real quick if that is still the case, if it is still closed down. Yes, I can see the signs. Yep, still closed off. So let me take you guys back to Greene Street and Duval Street. Such a nice night with a little breeze. Too bad we didn't get too many nice colors tonight with the sunset. I guess that means we have to do another sunset walk then. Maybe Sunday. Yep, let's see if we can fit in a little sunset walk on Sunday. Maybe we should use the bike that time so we can go and figure out where we can see the sunset. Maybe start or end it at the southernmost point at the buoy. We don't see the sunset there, but we can see the ocean. So, as you can see, the next step seems to be the sidewalk. So here we are on Greene Street. Fixing those sidewalks, making sure everything is nice and shiny when you guys are finally able to come down. I know a lot of you have moved that trip to later in the year. All right, sounds like Sunday is a deal, huh? Sunset walk on Sunday. And of course, we'll have a sunset, no, not a sunset stream, a port session tomorrow. Live music from 5 till 7 from the Bahama Village port here in Key West. Hope the wind's gonna die down a little bit. And so you guys can make song requests. Just put them in the comments tomorrow, and Gabe is gonna play them. Grab a drink, mix a little margarita or mojito. So here, quiet downtown Key West. Not that quiet actually. Again, lots of bikes, lots of bike riders, locals enjoying this breezy night. Some brand new sidewalks, very important. No tripping hazards on Duval Street. So I hope all of you hope you enjoy your night. Hope you have penciled in tomorrow 5 till 7 if you want to join us again in Key West, or on Sunday for the sunset walk around 7:15 local time. Hope you all have a great night, and I see you soon. Take care everyone, stay safe, wash those hands. See ya.